Well, in a remark that has fueled yet another political controversy, Congress leader Mani Shankar Aiyar has drawn parallels between the current situation in Bangladesh and India's political and economic landscape. This comes in the wake of similar remarks by Congress leader Salman Khurshid, further intensifying this discussion, or rather this thought. He compared the volatility and turmoil in Bangladesh with India's current situation, citing economic growth accompanied by rising unemployment and inequality as common factors. He further highlighted the recent upheaval in Bangladesh, where Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has stepped down and fled the country, as indicative of broader issues. He noted that despite economic progress, such social and political issues can lead to significant unrest. Meanwhile, another Congress leader, Sajjan Verma, has also drawn similar parallels. He said that, like Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, people will enter Prime Minister Modi's house and will occupy it. These statements come a day after Salman Khurshid's similar statements, in which he has claimed that what's happening in Bangladesh could happen here in India as well. Before moving further into the discussion, first, in fact, listen in to the comments made by Congress leaders, and then we start our debate.
It's important to know that we disappointed young Muslims of this country. When I say we, I include people who call themselves Muslim leaders. We disappointed young Muslims in this country to the extent that they decided that they would take the law into their own hands. First it happened in Kashmir, then it happened in different parts of India. And we went through the most horrifying pictures of what they did to themselves as they did to many people.
मैं तो सिर्फ इतनी बात कहना चाहता हूँ, 2 दिन से टीवी पे आप देख रहे हो, बांग्लादेश की जनता शेख हसीना की गलत नीतियों की वजह से, बांग्लादेश की सरकार की गलत नीतियों की वजह से कल प्रधानमंत्री आवास में घुस गई, राष्ट्रपति भवन में घुस गई। याद रखना नरेंद्र मोदी जी, एक दिन ये जनता जितने सड़क पे हिलोरे ले रही है, एक दिन तुम्हारी गलत नीतियों से तुम्हारे प्रधानमंत्री निवास में घुस जाएगी, कब्जा कर लेगी। अभी श्रीलंका में हुआ, पहले श्रीलंका में जनता प्रधानमंत्री के घर में घुसी, अब बांग्लादेश में घुसी। अब भारत का नंबर है, तो साथियों मैं अनुरोध करता हूँ,
की गणन करके कहते हैं कि इतने वोट बढ़े, तो ऐसे परिस्थिति में हम ये भी कह सकते हैं कि जैसा कि शक पैदा हुआ लोगों के मन में बांग्लादेश में कि ये फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन है क्या, वैसे ही शक यहाँ भी आने लगे हैं। वहाँ तो उभर गए हैं, लेकिन यहाँ भी वो शुरू हो गए हैं। तो जो सबक हमें सीखनी है वो ये है कि विकसित भारत बनाना एक चीज़ है, लेकिन वो आज़ाद भारत होगी क्या, वो एक लोकतांत्रिक भारत होगी क्या, एक आज़ाद भारत होगी क्या। तो ये सब सवाल उठते हैं, मैं उनका जवाब नहीं दे रहा हूँ, लेकिन ऐसे सवाल उठते हैं और हमें सावधान रहना है।
All right, joining us to talk more about this is senior political commentator Mr. Sumit Peer. Advocate Manasvi Thapar, political analyst, also joins us on the show. Vinita Hariharan, BJP spokesperson, with us on the broadcast as well. Last but by no means the least, Advocate Nikhil Jain, political analyst, also joins us on the show. Nikhil, I'll begin with you. Why do you think, if something necessarily is happening in Bangladesh that ought to be replicated in India? Is Bangladesh a microcosm of India? Are the volatilities, the sensitivities, and the religious factors common in both the countries? What is it about Bangladesh, that we should consider a parallel to our own? And why do you think that democracy is at stake in India as well? And why would Mani Shankar Aiyar, somebody who is habitually fond of taking on the government, and Mr. Salman Khurshid as well, would make such a parallel and such a comparison? Do you think this is a false equivalence? Do you think this is perhaps, trying to breed panic when there is none? We are a democracy. which is, of course, has been functioning very well. We have seen what's happened to our neighbors. Look at Pakistan, look at Bangladesh now, and look at China also for that matter. India is, in fact, has been a beacon of hope when it comes to democratic values. Why would anybody think, especially somebody from the opposition, that's why we are here, that something like this could happen in our country?
Well, first of all, I don't think anybody is talking about replicating what has happened in Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or a host of other countries. And so far as drawing these parallels are concerned, I think it's very common for leaders in a democratic space to target the government in their country, showing examples of other countries. Of course, we're a much better and a more stable state than Bangladesh is, or Myanmar was, or Sri Lanka is, or Pakistan is. But whenever these leaders are raising these questions, let's not forget that these things, usually when they happen in a country, they come with a storm and when people aren't expecting them. Again, I'm not saying that's going to happen in India. I don't think most Congress leaders are going to say that. But these are things that the government of the day, whichever party's government it is, need to be wary of. Let's remember that during the India against corruption movement, crowds did almost reach into the Rashtrapati Bhavan. In the US itself, US is a stronger state than India, right? But even in the US, protesters on the 6th of January were able to breach into the Capitol building. And for any country, democratic or not, Western or Oriental, this is a problem. This is something that the government needs to control. And the only way to control that is to maintain that active dialogue with citizens, to ensure protests and to have policies that are not anti-people. All these regimes have basically been suffering from creating policies or mismanaging their economy in a manner that the level of discontent in the people reaches a point where the state's security becomes a problem. We saw that in Sri Lanka. We've now seen that in Bangladesh. And more often than not, never do these protests, no matter why they may have started, never do these protests result in something positive for a country. Very often, either a dictator is installed or an autocrat is installed or the military rule comes into play and the countries actually lose their, freedoms and values. And this is what the Indian people, there is a two-pronged lesson in this, honestly, I feel. One is for the government to make sure that citizens' unrest does not reach a point where we can see something like this. Two is for the citizens of the country that keep on protesting against the government, but do not make it violent, do not try to, copy what happened in Egypt or Afghanistan or Iran or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or Myanmar. That is not going to help you. I think that's a two-pronged lesson for both the political establishment as well as the people of the country in the Bangladesh scenario.
Sumit Peer, how would you like to respond to that? There is dissatisfaction in the country, and if something like this can happen in the United States, where the Capitol was stormed upon when Trump declared that the results were fabricated, then why should we not think that something like this could also be anticipated in India?
Vinny, thank you for having me on your show. It's a very important discussion. Let me put up 4 points in perspective. Bangladesh started with a student movement, so-called, after the Chinese visit failed, and then so-called student movement ended up in an army chief telling the prime minister, you leave the country in 45 minutes, अन्यथा आपकी जान की कोई guarantee नहीं है. His security personnel turned out, and all the people turned out against him, and when she left, she called them all traitors. So it's an elected government and they could not protect her for a few thousand protesters. That is what has happened in Bangladesh. We know it's China and Pakistani ISI behind it. We don't have a time to discuss. We have discussed numerous times what happened in Bangladesh. Now the tyranny is, whatever happened there, people who were stealing the lingeries of Sheikh Hasina, who were displaying her personal clothes and taking pride in that. And I have seen those beard people who look to be, with this much of beard, Jamaatis, who are 50 years old and they don't look PhD students. Neither they look BMA students. So I don't know who does 45 ki age mein PhD go on kar raha. But anyway, so now whatever happened in Bangladesh, we all know what happened. Our intelligence has reported, the world knows it's China, it is ISI, and even Americans had some role to do with it. We all know those stories. Now what are Congress leaders trying to tell you? The politics starts here. Bangladesh is a different issue. They are telling you, look, you are democratically elected prime minister where 650 million people voted. If we can get few black people on this road and a few hundred get killed, we can remove this government. Now, when you cannot come to the power democratically, where 1 billion people vote, what are you saying? We'll get few black people on the road, we'll march to Prime Minister Modi's house. And what happened to Sheikh Hasina? She was told 45 but otherwise we don't guarantee your life. So are they in a way threatening that we'll lynch the Prime Minister? Are they in a way threatening we'll assassinate the Prime Minister? Now, I don't know where is Modi ji going to get into a helicopter and run away where? Sheikh Hasina had option of India. I don't know where is Modi ji going to go. So you are saying the biggest democracy in the world, the tallest leader, the biggest election is not fair. Now that's what Mani Shankar Aiyar is saying. And Mani Shankar Aiyar is the same person There's a video, he went to Pakistan and saying, भाई ये मोदी को हटाने के लिए हमारी मदद करो. Isn't that video out there? Now what does Congress do? They test the waters. They see how the things come up. They give the ideas to the masses. Now Sam Petroda said what he had to say so many times. Then they said, we have chalked him out. And on your show, Congress spokesperson came and said, हमें कुछ लेना देना नहीं Sam Petroda. He's out of Congress. We have checked him out. Isn't Sam Petroda back in Congress? After the election, he's back in Congress. Have they checked out Mani Shankar Aiyar? Have they checked out Sajjan Kumar? No. This is basically giving ideas to the people. Look, we cannot win the election. We have been rejected third time in a row. So there is no way electorally we can defeat Modi. Now let's get and try to take Modi by force. That is what you are trying to say. That is the kind of a thing you are saying. You are in fact, you are threatening the Prime Minister of the world's largest democracy that will get people and will come to your house. भाई फिर तो ये मिर्जापुर हो गया ना. It's not a गुड्डू पंडित or मुन्ना भाई, whoever is the biggest bahubali. Then let's forget democracy, call it a mamocracy. Then let's have a scenario who can get how many lakh people on the road and who can carry how many guns and how many people can go over there. It looks to me like a Mirzapur epic what they are talking to us. बड़ा बाहुबली कौन है वही गद्दी पे बैठेगा. I mean, Vineet, we are talking of what is the point of having 1 billion people vote? What is the point of having 650 million people cast their vote? What is the point of having this election? It's about getting the people on the road. And now you are threatening the Prime Minister and saying, no, wahan ye hua, ya hua. And let me tell you another thing. These all things keep on happening in Islamic countries. Look, Bangladesh, how many coups have been there? Pakistan, how many coups have been there? In Bangladesh, you had coups after 10 days. Pakistan hangs its Prime Minister. Do we hang our Prime Ministers? No. Pakistan kills its ex-Prime Minister. Pakistan kills its ex-general. Who killed Zia-ul-Haq? We didn't kill him. So how are you comparing this Islamic world turmoil with India? India, Iran, Bangladesh and all that, all together different stories. It doesn't happen in our part of the world. You are not talking of a ruckus. You are not talking of a thing. You are literally thinking, Modi ji, aapke ghar pe log aa jayenge. So you are talking of assassination of the Prime Minister. You are talking of lynching of the Prime Minister. And now, being a habitual offender, what has Congress done to you? Has Rahul Gandhi come and cleared? No, this is not, we are not with him. Has this, what is this, Sajjan Kumar Verma, has he apologized apology? Has he issued a written apology? Has Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, anybody apologized? Has Congress even distanced themselves for it? If this is not calling for violence and throwing the ideas to the public, how can a democratically government be overturned? What is it? What happened in Punjab? Again Congress ruled. Tab Channi ji keh rahe the goliyan thodi na chali hai. So what are you talking? Ab you are waiting for this 4 lakh, 10 lakh, 20 lakh mob to come to Kartavya Path and come to the Prime Minister's house. That is what you are waiting. That is what you are trying to say. How are we comparable with Bangladesh? There's no comparison between the two, and whatever happened in Bangladesh is their problem. We are not doing a debate on Bangladesh. I can speak for 1 hour, give you all the facts, figures and data, who did what and what happened on what day. That's not the subject. But why are you using what happened in Bangladesh to threaten the Prime Minister? And is this the politics of Congress? Is this the emergency mentality what you have? Emergency mein bhi to aapne yehi kiya tha. You put everybody in the jail. Now you are threatening of more violence. Vineet, we have seen these are dangerous tactics to play with. This is dangerous things to play with. And what I was flabbergasted with when Rahul Gandhi asked Dr. Jaishankar in this briefing, is China and ISI involved? And you have a MOU with Chinese Communist Party, and you don't know who is involved. You are trying to be so naive, you are trying to be politically so correct, and you are letting your chota-mota netas talk about it. And especially Mr. Salman Khurshid, sir, you have been the External Affairs Minister of India. आप बहुत बड़े अधिकारी रहे, बहुत बड़े मंत्री रहे, and that is your opinion. This is going to happen in India. You have been the flag bearer of India. You have been the tallest leader of Congress, and yet no sorry, no distancing themselves, no clarification from Congress. It's exactly Congress model of testing the waters. फिर देखते हैं फिर किस करवट ऊंट बदलता है. Then accordingly, if the things go west, we'll apologize. If the things go east, okay, we have set the ball in motion. That is what they do. Why was Sam Petroda caught in? Why Mani Shankar Aiyar is so indispensable after all the disasters? You never check him out. Did you ask Rahul Gandhi ji, Salman Khurshid to apologize? No. Did you issue a statement? Did Kharge ji, KC Venugopal ji issue a statement? No, at least it is his opinion. This is not the opinion of the Congress. You are trying to foment trouble in this country. And when Mr. Rahul Gandhi says, come on, Mr. West, you intervene in the democracy here. You intervene in the democracy, then Bangladesh happens. You want to say everything is not transparent here, then Bangladesh happens. What did Rahul Gandhi mean by saying, come on, West, to intervene, look into our democracy, look at what is happening in India? Now, Mani Shankar Aiyar is exactly telling you the same thing. Now, people are doubting the outcome of the election. Bhai, wahi baat hai. Even it started with this in Bangladesh also, doubting everything, putting every constitution on risk, questioning everything. And then when the things go west, we never did it. People
all right,
did
let me also get a response from...
One last sentence. You are the people who exactly did this to Sikh brothers in 84. You exactly did this thing to Sikh brothers in Delhi in 84. Your expertise in this, you possibly want to replicate the model now. That's how I look at it.
Vinita Hariharan, how dangerous is this tone and tenor? Comparing or trying to in fact envisage that a similar situation could brew up in India as well, because it does reek of political malignancy.
No, absolutely. Very well said, actually. This is political malignancy. It's preposterous and it's irresponsible on the part of senior leaders like Salman Khurshid to come up and say that we could have a similar situation as Bangladesh. First of all, Bangladesh and India cannot be compared. Bangladesh in isolation under Sheikh Hasina was doing well. Its economy was doing well. This particular incident was against these 30% retention, job quota retention, and which was upheld by the court itself. So it was it was a correct reservation policy, but there was an uprising against that particular policy. And you cannot compare it with India. India's, reservation policies are absolutely going towards a meritocratic model. Will not comment on that, but there are no comparison of these two policies. And so the cause of the uprising itself has to be examined before such statements come from senior leaders. I believe that senior leaders do their research before making such blatant statements in front of the public and actually, giving doubt to the public about India's stability. Whereas I know the last 10 years under Modi's government, it's been accepted globally. We are the beacon of hope, as you said. In our neighboring countries, amongst our neighboring countries, we are the beacon of hope. We are the leaders in the globe. Not only neighboring countries, the entire globe, we are leaders. Look at our economic growth story. I mean, it's there for all to see. So therefore, commenting and then actually saying that prophesying that a state like Bangladesh will come to India is absolutely ridiculous. Any well-educated person will rubbish the statement because of the kind of robustness and stability that this government has seen over the last 10 years. And our robust concept. And if you are saying that a situation like Bangladesh could come in India, you're actually questioning the constitutional frameworks that the constitution that you so upheld, so much in your campaigns, in your election campaign. You're actually going against that constitutional framework of India. We have a very robust system. We have very robust institutions. We have a very robust democracy. And every time you question the democratic, victories and the failures of the country, so the victories that you've got in the recent elections, are you questioning that as well? When Mani Shankar Aiyar says that we are doubting the political victories that have happened in this country, so are you questioning your own victories that you've had, the small victories that you've had? And we are running a coalition government today. We are in an NDA. We are in a collaborative governance structure, a very successful so far, collaborative governance structure, very robust governance structure. This shows our ability for Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas, which is being displayed, very well by the Modi leadership, under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. So there's no comparison at all with a country like Bangladesh. And it's unfortunate. Whatever has happened in Bangladesh is really unfortunate. And our, solidarity is with the people of Bangladesh and the kind of economic turmoil, the kind of unrest that the country is facing. We have to actually handhold them and see that the country is out of this misery. That's how responsible leadership should behave, and not actually quoting a similar incident and actually prophesying that that a similar fate would befall India. This is absolutely, I think it would amount to an anti-national statement, and they should apologize for these statements that they've made in the public.
All right, Manasvi, do you think that they should apologize for these statements?
Please allow me uninterrupted time.
Are they indicative of something that is fomenting trouble where there ought to be none?
See, as my previous speakers spoke about Sam Pitroda, Mani Shankar Aiyar, Salman Khurshid, Sam Pitroda can't fight an election in India. Mani Shankar Aiyar has been losing elections in India since last 10 years. Salman Khurshid has been losing since 10 years. They can't even win their own constituency. Think the weakness being sold that they can dethrone the prime minister or dethrone or destabilize the country. That is not even humanly possible for these individuals at the age of 82, 83 respectively. So that is not possible in such a robust democracy like India. It is about selling weakness in India, that Congress is trying to dethrone a democratically elected political party. That can't humanly be possible. If Congress is such a powerful political party, they would have been in power. This is the 11th year for Congress for not being in power. Is Congress so powerful that they can dethrone Prime Minister Narendra Modi? No, Congress is not that so powerful. Why do you want to sell that weakness that Congress can dethrone and make Congress more powerful than India? That is not even possible. Are you trying to tell me in 2024 India is leading march towards democracy for the entire world, telling them how a democracy should be there in the world? The US is following India, and we are trying to say, or the people in power are trying to say, that Congress can dethrone Prime Minister Narendra Modi. No, that is not possible. We cannot be Bangladesh. We are not Bangladesh. Why do you want to compare us and believe and make us believe that yes, we are Bangladesh, and something which happened with Sheikh Hasina can happen with our Prime Minister? No, that is not possible. And Congress in its own power does not have that power. Why do you want to make Congress so powerful that you want us to believe that Congress can actually do that? That is impossible for any political party, even for BJP to do that, even for Congress to combine the largest two political parties to actually dethrone. This is a laughable thing. Why do you want to do that? That you want to show Prime Minister is a weak Prime Minister? No, our Prime Minister is not weak. More than that, the Constitution is not so weak. More than that, the people would trust a democratically elected political party, which is BJP in power. I don't know why do you want to sell this narrative that Congress can actually dethrone Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which is not a possibility. Something which happens in Pakistan, something which happens in Bangladesh, something which is happening in China cannot be replicated in India. And for a matter of fact, this debate has been there since 2008. Congress and the Communist Party of China had signed an MOU. Since 10 years, BJP is in power. They can use their foreign relations to bring out that MOU in public. Congress is not doing it. It's a bad political party. It has signed something anti-national. Why isn't BJP since 10, 11 years bringing that MOU in the public knowledge? If there is something, if the MOU is bringing out something, it smells fishy, it is anti-national, bring it out in public. You use your democratic foreign relations and bring it out in the interest of the nation. So what is happening? The selectivity of selling weakness to the citizens, the selectivity of selling the MOU of Communist Party of India and Congress and telling that Congress can actually fear, that fear mongering is happening, that Congress can actually dethrone Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They are selling our nation to the Communist Party of India. Where have they sold it? This is just a narrative, but the reality here is that BJP is completely in power. No one can dethrone it electorally or by masses like what have happened in Bangladesh. Humanly, it's not possible. Our citizens are not so lame that they'll go on the streets and do these kinds of dharnas or these kinds of agitation.
We've run out of
Let
time.
us believe in our democracy.
We'll have to wrap up. Sumit, you wanted to quickly come in quickly. You have a minute.
Vineet, can I at least respond to the point?
Yeah, Nikhil, I'll give you a minute as well. Just let Sumit finish.
Bangladesh, it started with a student protest where the Supreme Court had quashed that order. There was no reason for a student protest. Then what happened? Jamaatis got involved, ISI got involved, China got involved, CIA got involved. Pakistan's ISI, infiltrated in the Jamaati students wing. ISIS flags were saying, Nalai Takbir, Allahu Akbar is everywhere. They rampaged everything. They went and broke a jail and got all the hardcore jihadis out. All the terrorists and all were put in jail were out. Sheikh Hasina, Khalida Zia is out. Her son is in command. Her son met the ISI people in UK and they did this. It is not about who is going to do what. Why are Hindu shops, Hindu mandirs, Hindu homes torched? Why are Hindus attacked in all 27 districts if it's a student protest? No, you have to start with something, then the players come in. The enemies of the country come in, join hands and they make it big. But they need a launching ground, they need a launching pad. If somebody is providing that launching pad and sending enough indications out, yes, we are in a mood to do that, then other people will come. Imagine if the Jamaat-e-Islami would have not done this, BNP would have not done this, this could have not happened. This cannot happen
All
without
right, okay. Nikhil, quickly.
Vineet, a bunch of points were made by Sumitji, which are essentially looking like vitriolic Islamophobia on the show. When he goes around saying that coups are something that only happens in the Islamic world, I don't know where he's getting that from. Coups happen everywhere in the world. In fact, every country around in our neighborhood, from the Hindu majority Nepal to Myanmar to Sri Lanka to now Bangladesh, and of course Pakistan, has seen some of the other forms of coups. So coups don't have anything to do with religion. They simply have to do with the fact that the government at the time is not able to run properly or the citizens are angry or something like that. Secondly, Sheikh Hasina was not the democratically elected prime minister in Bangladesh, and what happened in Bangladesh, the events are still unfolding. So to label it as a Jamati movement or not a student movement or this or that, that'll be very premature and very wrong. Then the point keeps getting made about Rahul Gandhi and Congress party having some sort of an MOU with the Communist Party of China, when the fact is that it is this BJP-run government which is looking for fast-track visas for Chinese workers so that they can be used in in Ambani's partnership with a Chinese firm. If indeed there is an MOU like that, you put them behind bars if there's an anti-state MOU like that. And also, let me remind you, the only political party whose workers have actually stormed into somebody's house like that, some senior official's house like that, it is the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha Karyakartas who did that in 2022 when they stormed into Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia's official residence, went into his drawing room, thrashed the furniture there. So let's not pretend that it is the Congress that is trying to, incite citizens into violence. What is happening in Bangladesh may or may not happen in India, but everybody needs to learn lessons from that. And if somebody is saying that, to assume that they are inciting violence is just ridiculousness. And last thing,
for more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.